Hey everybody, it's your boy Matty Rants. I'm not going to yell too loud because we're trying these headphones out today. May sound a little crispy clear here, but don't get too used to them because I'm going to get a better microphone in a second. But this way, I can do my American Horror Story recap, rant, review, whatever and I can put in there to describe episode 2, Mr. Jingles, to you. I'll give somewhat of a kill count. Shout out to the kill counts, one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch because I'm a horror movie fan. And I'll give you my feelings about episode 2 and where I would like to see the rest of the season go. So, let's go ahead and start this up. We start off the episode with the good doctor, Miss Karen Hopple, driving to Camp Redwood so she can warn everybody about Mr. Jingles' escape. Now, she finds Miss Margaret Booth, hate that name, and gives her the tea. Margaret's not feeling that tea, she's drinking water today, and asks that she leave because God will help her through this. Jesus is the light, and she's got a gun with a lot of bullets that she apparently knows how to use. God bless you, Margaret. Oh, literally. Dr. Miss Karen tries her best to warn her, and Margaret's just not hearing it, honey. Now, Karen gets in her car, beep beep, and drives away thinking, did I do enough? Pow! The tire pops. Lord, like we don't know what's about to happen. And a car just so happens to be behind her. Looks like it's the tow truck. Now, why this part here got me? Girl, the doctor was just sitting there like, I'm going to stare to the left as long as I can and pray it's somebody that's not Mr. Jingles. You heard the keys jingling. You should just assume everybody's the killer. Where she was then pulled out of the car, given a good stomp on the leg, and then killed. Ear taken off. I am a monster, he says. Laugh. But after all that happens, I'm wondering to myself, well, what happened to the Night Stalker? Because didn't she just see him while she was trying to use the phone? That scene that scene that ended the first episode was not explained or not brought up again in episode 2. It's almost like she saw him for the first time again by the lake. Maybe I missed that part. I don't know. I just was like, we kind of let that go. But let's jump back into episode 2. Brooke is still freaked out. She's sitting right there, looking out the window, wondering where Mr. Jingles and the Night Stalker and everybody else that may try to kill her is. And everyone else is still trying to play the oblivious game of, she's tripping, she's messed up. Everything's happening to her, not to us. It's very that. Montana and Brooke then have a special moment, a little lady love time. Brooke's not ready for that kiss and she needs some time to clear her head. What? Girl, you were just attacked and no one believes you, and then you saw someone that you didn't see because technically they cut that scene away for this episode too, for her to see him for the first time. We'll get to that in a second. But she decides to go walking in the woods. All right, Brooke. You're so smart. But let me not forget this. In that tender moment, we get a flashback to Brooke on her wedding day. Last summer, actually, where she had a very jealous boyfriend. And I know this is based off of some scene from somewhere and I can't think of it. So if y'all would like to tell me and help me out, you know what to do in the comment section. But as for me, I was like, where is this from? This is so familiar. But her boyfriend is apparently really jealous, and his best man spent the night with her because she's a nervous Nelly. She's always nervous about things. And they didn't do anything. I mean, you could tell they didn't do anything. But the guy is really crazy. Shoots the best friend. Oh, the best man, I should say. Oh, he's dead. Her dad jumps up. Pow! Oh! You think he's about to kill Brooke. No, he kills himself. Now she's the blood-splattered bride, not Uma Thurman, Beatrix Kiddo tease. None of that. Oh, Brooke is sad. That's a moment. She ran away from the kissing. We're moving on. The guys are on their way to go shower. And while they're on their way to go shower, Xavier's daddy, and I use those air quotes very strongly in this case, because when they said daddy, I was like, child. Oh, that daddy. Sugar daddy. Pay your bills daddy. Who is not trying to let his porcelain god get away from him. But he's only gay for pay. Wow. And daddy is threatening him with a VHS tape. Girl, I had a whole moment seeing that VHS tape. If y'all didn't understand the struggle of having to rewind a VHS tape versus skipping chapters on a DVD or a Blu-ray, miss me with it, because there were some times you had to rewind it back fast enough and on the right money, because you know somebody else was watching it and they saw that you watched it knowing it was a video that you were not supposed to watch. You was gonna get in some trouble. That's when Blockbuster was relevant. Xavier promises daddy that there's something even bigger and better waiting for him that would definitely take his place so that he could be free of his gay for pay days. I'm sure he still lives at daddy's house though. Now that shower scene was a gift from God. While daddy was getting his peeping Tom on, Mr. Jingles got his full jangle upside his head, well, inside his head, I should say, and killed daddy. Oh, don't wake daddy. Well, we can't because he's dead now. I got to use that joke twice. Now, while all this is taking place, Brooke has found her way walking peacefully, with the armor of 1,000 versions that have survived many horror movies, to the lake to find, oh my gosh, the Night Stalker. Ah, you're back, even though low key we saw him at the end of episode 1 and then it wasn't explained going into the beginning of episode 2, but now he's there at the lake and it's our first time seeing him again since the time he got her at her house. No, I'm gonna have to let that scene go. Yeah, I was a little confused by that. But he's there to finish the job, but he doesn't do it. Of course, he slashes her jacket and she runs away. Wait a minute. The camper who was killed in the first episode after being hit with the car, going to the infirmary, being confused, not knowing where he is there again. You're not supposed to be here. Killed by the Night Stalker. Brooke runs and finds her way to Montana. Montana's trying to comfort her. Girl, you're crazy. It's nothing here. Nothing's wrong. The Night Stalker is stalking. Guess who shows back up? Shaggy. Jonas shows up again. This camper that seems to not want to die. This is now becoming strange and confusing. The Night Stalker kills him again, but takes his badge at the same time and realizes that it says he's a camp counselor in 1970. He takes a look again and Jonas has disappeared. This is where I start to skip through a couple parts. The Night Stalker finds Margaret Booth, that name, to ask her, like literally he shows up to her camp, like trying to kill one particular person, to then ask the counselor, like, who is this guy, so he can go back to killing Brooke. To which Margaret doesn't know, but figures it possibly could be a ghost or something, and then asks for his help, to which then he gives his story as to why he is a killer, after the horrible life he lived. And she says that she needs his help to protect the campers and the counselors from Mr. Jingles. That's right. Miss Booth has hired the Night Stalker to save these people from Mr. Jingles. Okay. Okay. Skip ahead once again just to stay on Miss Margaret. Richard Ramirez, who is the Night Stalker, we get a name for him now. And then Jonas, who is this camper, okay? So check this out. Margaret, out of the blue, finds him in the woods and is like, who are you? Who are you? And they sort of remember each other from the 70s. And she's like, you're a ghost. I can't be a ghost. There's no such thing. There's ghosts in the Bible, so ghosts must be real. Y'all, I don't know where this is going. I'm still interested, but when I say I'm like they need a better explanation than what's being given as to, oh well, he was on the street where he originally got killed and they brought him back to camp, so now he's stuck on the camp zone. No, I need something better than that. So I don't know where they're going to go with this ghost story, but I was like, that's a little interesting. Okay. Now, when Nurse Rita was in the infirmary and Mr. Jingles met her at the zoo and they had that cutaway scene, I don't know if you were like me, but I was not feeling that. I was like, if they kill Angelica Ross's character now, Just like how they did her in Pose, they ended her halfway through the season, not even. I'm gonna be upset. Getting back on track, the campers find Daddy dead at the peeping hole. And of course, Xavier is trying to not say he knows the man. He's just freaking out. Everybody is like, oh my God, there are dead bodies. Brooke wasn't lying. Ah! All of that mess. They decide now is a good time to leave. Great, so glad that they finally pulled their senses together. They hop into the mystery machine, decide to turn it on. Oh no, oh no, boom. Oh yes, it works. Hooray, we're leaving, we're out of here. Stop! It's Nurse Rita, and thank God, because I thought she was dead and I was going to be pissed. Oh no, boom, they crash into Margaret Booth's car. I hate that name once again. And now, what are we going to do? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. The former porn star says that he has a motorcycle, and Nurse Rita says she's got a rabbit and can fit a few people in here, but that's the best that they can do. They need to split up into teams in order to get these keys. This is giving me Friday the 13th, the game, realness. In order to get out of Camp Red, everybody's going to die wood. So, Rita, Chet, Ray, and Brooke are one team. Xavier, Montana, and Trevor are the motorcycle team, apparently. 3 people are going to fit on that motorcycle. Okay. Groups get stuck into different cabins. The boys' cabin is where they need to go find Trevor's keys, and the infirmary is where they need to find Nurse Rita's keys. Now, in the midst of looking for all of these things, there comes a knocking on both doors. We see the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, traveling towards the infirmary, and Mr. Jingles sees the flashlight in the window since Montana, for some apparent reason, needed to put her flashlight through the window to look outside. Like, girl, you're supposed to be looking for keys. Get we're trying to be a lookout, but come on, sister. Xavier admits that he knows the peeping Tom, but there's a knocking at the door. Everyone's freaking out. Ah, what's about to happen? End of episode. I thought I could explain this in 10 minutes, but yeah, I needed to go through the whole thing. Here's my feelings about episode 2 of the music, the entire ambiance of everything that's going on, and of course, people making stupid decisions because this is an 80s stalker horror film. That's all they did was, I don't believe you. I'm going to do my own thing. And I was almost killed 5 seconds ago. I'm going to go walk in the woods type of bit. Like, I do love that about 80s horror film. I need an explanation on this ghost. That's the one. How is it so easy for Margaret to convince Richard, the Night Stalker, Ramirez, to then be on her side to protect these campers just because she's listening to him? I'm like, is that what he was trying to do every time he was walking into someone's house in the evening, robbing them? I just want a good listener? I don't know. But we will certainly find out, and I'm excited for the rest of American Horror Story 1984. Again, I totally get why some people were turned off by this episode. To me, this is simply build up into what's going to happen and more revelations that will be revealed and etc., etc. Tell me what you thought of this week's episode. What do you look forward to? Who do you not want to die next? Or who do you want to die next? Tune in again next week as we discover more things with Camp Redwood and figure out if we can get these plot holes together. It's your boy Matty Rants. Hugs and kisses, best love and wishes to you. Remember, next week is Drag Race UK. If you don't have WoW Plus, get it, because that's where you can watch it early, or you can wait to watch it on Logo the week afterwards. I'm not going to. I'm watching it the day it airs. Talk to you later and see you soon.